Hey there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckbill, Stampin' Queen. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I'm going to come do a little bit of stamping for you. So if you're home, come and visit, check it out. We are going to work with a returning favorite from our August through December holiday catalog or mini catalog, and that is Mr. Moose. So we are going to work with Mr. Moose and, of course, the coordinating punch. So he was in our catalog last year. There's a couple things that sold out very early on, and some of you were not able to get them. And so what we did was bring them back into this catalog. And the wonderful thing that we did as well is kept it bundled together. So normally a bundle is in a catalog for a year. And then even though the items might come back in the catalog, we unbundle them. And so you're no longer able to get that 10% discount. But this time we did keep the bundle together, which means when you purchase Mr. Moose and his punch, you get a 10% discount. So I wanted to point those out because I'm so thrilled that Stampin' Up! Did this. This is a new thing that we have not done before, is have returning favorites. And another thing that we've done that this year that has never been done before is to bring back designer paper for another year. So if you like this and you love it, definitely reach out to Stampin' Up! And let them know. You can give them a call or you can send them an email and just say that we like having items for a little bit longer in our catalogs. And so what I like about it is more bang for your buck, right? So last year you might have purchased the Moose, or you might have purchased the ornament stamp set, or even the cardinal stamp set, the Christmas trees with the punch. Those are all came back again. And I like it because then I have them. I got them last year, so why not use them again? And if I want to do a little fresh and a little current, a little refresh to it, I just add some new embellishments, like some new paper or some new ribbon. So yeah, super, super great idea, Stampin' Up! Thank you. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, I'm going to use Mr. Moose and his punch. His real name is Mary Moose. And he kind of is a Christmas themed stamp set. He is in the holiday catalog, but I use him for other things as well. So these are for my outdoorsy friends, my masculine friends, maybe Canadian friends, up north friends. Anyway, so I love working with, I call him Mr. Moose. So I think that comes from Captain Kangaroo, maybe. If any of you guys out there are my age, you might have watched Captain Kangaroo. I love that show. And I'm also going to pull in Itty Bitty Birthdays as my greeting. So I'm looking here and realizing I did not bring any paper to this show. So let's try again. Some days I'm prepared and some days I'm snot. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, let me move some things out of the way as my nose starts to run immediately. We're going to take a piece of Mary Merlot. This is 8.5 by 5.5. So that's just half a sheet of our cardstock cut in half. We're going to do a nice crisp crease there with the bone folder. This is a color that I don't often gravitate to. And so my original idea was Christmas, but I am going to use the same exact card, change up my greeting, and do it as a birthday card. So of course I've got a piece of Whisper White cut to 5 1/4 by 4. That's my inside, because when I have these dark colors, I want to have a nice bright inside so that I can do my stamping and my writing to my friends. I've got Mossy Meadow, and I've got another piece of Whisper White. I am pretty sure my Mossy Meadow is 5 by 3 3/4. And then I just did, this is a little bit tight. I might grab my trimmer. Let's do that. I was trying to do 1/8 of an inch, but it is just a little bit too tight of a border. So what did I say? Let me make sure. Yep. So Mossy Meadow is 5 by 3 3/4. So let me just go ahead and do 1/4. So, well, I do like just that little bit, that little subtle 1/8. So let me just slice a little bit more off here and see if that'll help my situation. Yeah, we're just going to take a little sliver off of that. So I did just 1/8. So what's 1/8? 4 7/8 by 3 5/8 on that white. Or if you want to see a little bit more of the green, go ahead and do a 1/4 inch off, which would be 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. So yeah, see, we're going to see a little bit more of that mossy meadow. I like that. All right, so the next step we're going to do is pull in our mossy meadow ink pad and our large tree. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. I stamp with that little silicone mat, but I just want to make sure I don't get ink on it because the ink could transfer. So what I'm going to do is ink up one of these trees really well, stamp it once, move over, stamp it again, move over, and stamp it a 3rd time. So this is what we call 3rd generation stamping, or stamp off, just so that you have some shading in those trees. So I'm going to do it again on this side. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I'm so sorry my nose runs when I do these videos. It's crazy. All right, so now I pulled in my birthday greeting, and I'm going to use my Mary Merlot ink. And I'm just going to stamp birthday wishes across the top. While I have that out, I'm going to pull in a little scrap of paper here, and I'm going to stamp his scarf, because I'm going to hand cut that out. There's not a punch for his scarf. You do need to fussy cut that. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our moose. Now what I like to do, I've got a darker shade of ink here. I've got my soft suede. This is my personal preference. You may find other people do things a little bit differently, but I like the outline first. So I'm going to stamp my outline of the moose in my darker ink in my soft suede. And then, because of the photopolymer, I feel like I can look through my ink, or my block, and see where I need to go with my image. So I pulled in some crumb cake. I'm going to do the lighter shade with my solid image. So I think I can look through this, and I can see where I'm going to line up my moose image. 1, 2, 3, give it a little bit of time to transfer, and there we go. We've got a perfect moose. Let's try it the other way, just to see what we think. Sometimes it might be easier to stamp your solid image and then line up the detail over top. You could, I'm finding it not as easy. It works. I'm a little off in a couple places, but so, you need to make your preference and see what works for you. And maybe some sets are different than others. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to punch him out. And what I like to do, because he's got these really, really skinny legs, so you kind of need to make sure that they are right in the grooves of the punch. So I've got my punch open, and as I slide him in here, I kind of close my punch a little bit. Not enough to punch, but you can see that I can't wobble my cardstock. I'm using the punch, the little squish of the punch, to hold him steady where I can move around other parts. So it doesn't feel like I'm trying to hit a moving target. So I just use my punch to kind of squish a little bit so that when I have him finally lined up, I'll give a punch and out he comes. So our next step is going to be to fussy cut our scarf, because he needs to have a scarf on so he doesn't get cold. So this is like a fall or winter time birthday card that I'm going to send out. So I want to make sure that my moose is nice and warm. Now I could change my colors a little bit and do them a little bit more of the neutrals, and then maybe he wouldn't have to wear a scarf, because that would be like a more summer or spring card that I'm sending out, and then he wouldn't need a scarf to keep him warm. And right now you guys probably have all turned off the video because I am babbling nonsense. It's all right. Stay with me. You know, I tell you guys, I video these really early on Sunday mornings. So sometimes I'm not quite awake yet. I'm going to just do a little smidgen here to get rid of that piece that's in between. I also don't have my glasses on. Daggone. Like I said, some days I'm prepared, some days not. All right, so let's go ahead and attach our stamped panel to our Mossy Meadow. And then that piece can go onto our Merlot card base. You could do dimensionals if you wanted to. I'm going to leave it flat because I want to put dimensionals on my mousse. So while I've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and do a little fun on the inside, and that's just with Mr. Mousse walking across the inside of your card, because I like to have some fun on the inside. I'm not going to sign it because I don't know what I'm going to say yet, so I always just kind of stick that inside there so that when the time comes, I'm ready to go. I'm going to do a little bit of adhesive on his scarf and attach that around his neck. There you go, Mousse. Now you'll be nice and warm. And it makes you look kind of cute. And let's see, do I have mini dimensionals? I don't. I would like mini dimensionals, but I don't happen to have them here. I love the mini dimensionals with the mousse. They seem to work real well, especially in his horns and around his face. But that's okay. I'm going to work with what I have. And we're going to attach him onto the front of our card. There was a stamp, you know, should I do something cool here? I'm going to go off topic. Yeah, I'm going to. Okay, I might just ruin this card, but I want to do something cool. Because I just now saw this stamp just the other day, and I'm like, what the heck is that even? Is it going to work? Yeah. Okay. Let's get out some crumb cake here. So there is this stamp in here that looks like this. Can you see that? And I'm like, what is that? It didn't make sense to me. And guess what it is? It's his footprints in the snow. All right, I better not do too many footprints ahead of where he's already walking. So let's try this. Haha, look at that. It's his little footprints in the snow. Cute, cute, cute. All right, so there is a super quick, super easy, kind of outside the box. We're taking that little Christmas mousse and we're turning him into a neutral birthday card. So here are some other things that I did. Last week I held a Christmas Stamp-A-Stack with him, or Christmas Stamp-A-Stack, and I did use Mr. Mousse. So here's one where we used, still even with the neutrals paper, and still used a brand new DSP, a brand new ribbon, and Mr. Mousse as a returning favorite. So that was a Christmas card I did. That's his inside there. There's his inside. There's my notes to myself. And then I pulled in the ones I don't really work with, are the little raccoon and the little presents. Haven't done a whole lot with them. So I did use those as well. Pulling in some new DSP and coloring with the blends. Then another returning favorite was our first Frost Designer Series paper. So I just did the outline of him. I didn't even stamp him. Here's another one with birthday theme, that it doesn't always have to be Christmas. And so there's the returning pine trees. Another Christmas card, a little bit of different colors. I believe this is Real Red and Smoky Slate. And then here's finally another one with some new twine and some new DSP. So bringing back the returning favorites, because you already made the investment. So why not refresh them with a little bit of new. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week for Movie Monday.